It's official, Johnny Somali's nightmare in South Korea just took a catastrophic turn that nobody saw coming. What started as a simple streaming controversy has now spiraled into something so explosive, so unprecedented, that legal experts are saying he might never see freedom again. We're not talking about a few months behind bars anymore, folks. We're talking about a potential 12-year prison sentence that could destroy his life completely. The streets are buzzing with nuclear-level revelations. New evidence has surfaced. Fresh charges are being prepared. And the most shocking part? His so-called best friend and supporter, Hank Yu, just admitted on camera that he's planning to abandon Johnny completely and flee to China the moment those prison doors slam shut. This isn't internet drama anymore. This is a real-life legal catastrophe unfolding in real time, with federal investigators, child welfare violations, and evidence so damning that even Johnny's own supporters are jumping ship. The man who thought he was untouchable, who believed his American passport would protect him from consequences, is about to learn the hardest lesson of his life. And trust me, what I'm about to reveal will leave your jaw on the floor. Let's rewind a bit, because this story is messier than anyone expected. Johnny Somali, the controversial American streamer whose real name is Ramzi Khalid Ismail, thought South Korea would be just another playground for his chaotic content. He rolled into Seoul with his usual arrogance, ready to cause mayhem for views and donations. But South Korea isn't Japan. South Korea isn't America. This is a country that takes public order seriously, and Johnny was about to find that out the hard way. For months, this man terrorized Korean citizens. He harassed women on the streets. He disrupted businesses. He played North Korean propaganda music on public transportation, literally committing acts that could be considered treasonous in a country still technically at war. The audacity was breathtaking, but Johnny didn't care. He was getting views, making money, and living his best chaotic life. Then came Hank Yu, the mysterious figure who positioned himself as Johnny's savior and financial backer. Hank presented himself as the loyal friend, the guy who would stick by Johnny through thick and thin. He paid for lawyers, covered expenses, and publicly defended Johnny's actions as free speech and entertainment. But here's where the fairy tale starts cracking. Hank Yu just revealed his true colors in the most devastating way possible. In a recent interview that's now going viral, Hank casually admitted that when Johnny goes to prison, he's planning to pack up and move to China. Not stick around to help, not fight for his friend's freedom, just leave. If Johnny Somali goes to prison, right, it's not gonna be like years and years upon years. It's gonna be like few months. I'll be like, all right, that part of my life is done. I'm moving to China, Hank said with shocking nonchalance. The betrayal is absolutely nuclear. This is the same man who claimed he would support Johnny no matter what. The same person who positioned himself as Johnny's ride-or-die companion. And now, with legal walls closing in, Hank is already planning his escape route while downplaying Johnny's potential sentence as just a few months. Legal experts are calling Hank delusional. While he's talking about months, prosecutors are building cases that could result in over a decade behind bars. The disconnect is staggering, and it reveals just how abandoned Johnny really is. But here's where it gets even darker, and this is where you need to hit that hype button right now, because what I'm about to reveal shows just how deep this rabbit hole goes. Give this video the hype it deserves. This story is about to expose a pattern of behavior so disturbing that it's changing how we look at online content creation forever. New evidence has emerged that could add years to Johnny's sentence. We're talking about fresh investigations, additional charges, and testimony that paints a picture of systematic harassment that goes far beyond what we initially knew. The Child Welfare Act violations are real, folks. This isn't speculation anymore. Legal Mindset, one of the most respected legal commentators covering this case, confirmed that prosecutors are actively building a separate case around Johnny's interactions with minors. And the evidence? It's reportedly devastating. Sources close to the investigation reveal that Johnny's own recorded content is being used against him. Every stream, every video, every moment of harassment he thought was entertainment is now evidence in a criminal case. The man literally documented his own crimes and uploaded them to the internet for the world to see. But that's not even the most shocking part. Johnny is back to streaming. Despite facing potential decades in prison, despite his legal team presumably advising him to stay quiet, Johnny Somali is once again posting videos of himself committing crimes. The desperation is palpable, and insiders say it's because he knows Hank won't be there to support him financially once the legal hammer falls. One particularly disturbing piece of evidence shows Johnny harassing a young Korean boy, demanding hugs, following him despite clear distress signals. The child was literally calling for police while Johnny continued his content. When you watch that footage, knowing that prosecutors are building a child welfare case, The implications become terrifyingly clear. This isn't just about disorderly conduct anymore. We're looking at potential trafficking charges, systematic harassment of minors, and behavior that legal experts are calling predatory. The evidence is so overwhelming that even Johnny's most loyal supporters are starting to distance themselves. And through it all, Hank Yu is planning his exit strategy while Johnny spirals deeper into legal quicksand. Then came the nuclear moment that changed everything. Multiple sources familiar with the case confirm that Johnny Somali is now facing the possibility of separate trials. Not one case, not two cases, but potentially multiple legal proceedings that could keep him trapped in South Korea for years. It's going to be a separate trial, which means he would be stuck in Korea even longer. Legal Mindset explained in a recent breakdown. He would be stuck in Korea even longer. Let that sink in. While Hank Yu is talking about a few months and planning his move to China, legal experts are warning that Johnny could be facing a legal maze that extends far beyond anything he imagined. Word on the street is that investigators have uncovered a pattern of behavior that goes back months. Every bus ride where he harassed passengers, every street interaction where he targeted women, every moment where he disrupted businesses or played propaganda music. It's all being compiled into a comprehensive case that paints Johnny not as a misguided content creator, but as someone who systematically terrorized Korean citizens for profit. Sources close to the prosecution say the evidence is overwhelming. Johnny's own content is his worst enemy. He filmed himself committing crimes, uploaded the evidence, and even monetized the harassment through donations and sponsorships. In legal terms, this is a prosecutor's dream case. But here's what's truly devastating. Johnny's behavior escalated even after his initial arrest. Recent footage shows him continuing to harass Korean citizens, including disturbing interactions with minors that have child welfare advocates calling for maximum penalties. One particularly damning piece of evidence shows Johnny approaching Korean girls and making inappropriate comments about their age. "How old are you? 18? Perfect. Come with us," he's heard saying in footage that's now part of the official investigation. The implications are chilling, and prosecutors are reportedly treating this as evidence of predatory behavior. Insiders claim that Johnny's legal team is in full panic mode. They're not just defending against the original charges anymore. They're trying to prevent a cascade of additional cases that could result in decades behind bars. And with Johnny continuing to create new evidence against himself through his desperate streaming attempts, their job is becoming impossible. The man who thought he was untouchable is about to learn that some countries don't play games with public safety. This isn't just about Johnny Somali anymore. This case is sending shockwaves through the entire streaming community and raising unprecedented questions about accountability in the digital age. What we're witnessing is a fundamental shift in how countries handle foreign content creators who cross legal and cultural boundaries. South Korea is making an example out of Johnny, and the message is crystal clear. Your follower count doesn't make you immune to consequences. Your American passport won't protect you from local laws. And your claims of entertainment won't excuse systematic harassment of citizens. The ripple effects are already being felt across the industry. Content creators worldwide are suddenly realizing that their actions have real-world consequences. The days of hiding behind "it's just content" or "it's just a prank" are over. Countries are fighting back, and they're using the full force of their legal systems to do it. Legal experts are calling this a watershed moment. This could change how we approach international content creation, one constitutional lawyer told insiders. Countries are no longer willing to tolerate harassment tourism disguised as entertainment. But the most devastating revelation is how quickly Johnny's support network collapsed. Hank Yu's admission that he's planning to abandon Johnny reveals the hollow nature of online friendships built around controversy. When the cameras stop rolling and the legal bills start mounting, these relationships evaporate like morning mist. Sources familiar with the streaming community say Johnny's case is being watched closely by other controversial creators. Many are quietly reassessing their own content strategies, realizing that what happened to Johnny could happen to anyone who crosses the line. The cultural implications are equally significant. South Korea has shown that it won't tolerate disrespect of its citizens, regardless of the perpetrator's nationality or online following. This sets a precedent that other countries are likely to follow, creating a new landscape where content creators must respect local laws and cultural boundaries. Industry insiders predict that this case will lead to new regulations and international agreements about content creator accountability. The Wild West days of streaming are coming to an end, and Johnny Somali is becoming the cautionary tale that defines this transition. What started as one man's quest for viral content has become a legal earthquake that's reshaping the entire digital landscape. So where does this leave us? Johnny Somali is facing the fight of his life, and he's fighting it alone. Hank Yu is planning his escape to China. His legal team is overwhelmed by mounting evidence, and prosecutors are building cases that could keep him locked up for over a decade. The most chilling part? Johnny still doesn't seem to understand the gravity of his situation. He's still streaming, still creating evidence against himself, still believing that somehow this will all blow over. But legal experts are unanimous. This isn't going away. Sources close to the case say we're only seeing the beginning. More charges are coming, more evidence is being compiled, and Johnny's desperate attempts to maintain his online presence are only making things worse. The question isn't whether Johnny will face serious consequences anymore. The question is how many years he'll spend behind bars and whether he'll ever truly understand what he's lost. This story is far from over, and what happens next could redefine how the world handles digital age accountability. Johnny Somali thought he was untouchable. He's about to learn just how wrong he was. Stay tuned, because this legal nightmare is just getting started.